I am Diamond as always, and this is Let's Go for a Weekend. LG4We. I want to thank everyone who left the comments in the previous episode, and I'm sure we learned quite a lot. Well, today is another Friday where we're going to talk about many things, among many things. So, what happened? I had time to. I spent some time with a lot of friends. This past week, I will discuss quite along so many things. So, one of the amazing things one friend shared with me, we were talking about habit. Habit literally, some people might want to attribute it to an attitude, but habit is which can basically be positive or negative. It's a frequent practice in certain kind of attitude. Sometimes those attitudes are being influenced by the rate at which you practice it. So we're discussing on strategies on how to stay away from a negative habit. All right. So because most young people, or most of us across, we've got a habit or the other that is holding us from achieving or making our way to success. Maybe those habits might be so many things that can waste our time, so many things that can waste other resources other than time, which can be money, which can be other logistics, things that you might use to do something very productive about yourself. Some other things which can maybe prepare you for the next stage, but because our habit has been surrounded around certain kind of practice, we're held, and so we waste time without knowing it, and so we leverage resources in a very expensive way without considering some of the ramifications. So we talked about ways of addressing habitually related issues. He said when you want to stay away from a habit that is negative, you need to identify firstly that, okay, this is a habit I have, and you need to understand or feel or realize that this habit is not doing me good, and you have to be deliberate that I want to get away from this negative habit, and then you find an alternative positive habit to replace the negative habit in you, and you start to practice. Well, the greater work is on the practice element of it. So many of us are in some habit wherein we realize, because of our exposure and also the level of information we've got, and realize that, okay, these habits are negative. But how do we solve it? He said, when you have a negative habit, and then you find a positive habit to replace with that negative habit, you need to practice the positive habit to a point. When you practice it, the letters in the habit, HABIT, the H will get missing. When the H get missing, we're only left with ABIT, that is a beat. So a minute sense of the habit. So the key element of the habit is the H. Is gone out. So a minute sense of the habit left is a beat, which is in a way significant, but not very, very much significant. And then you start to practice the positive over and over, and the A will definitely get missing. So when the A got trash, it left with what? BIT. So it's a bit. Bit means a small particle of the whole. So your habit is being shredded to some little kind of elements, like you're chopping tomato or you're chopping cabbage or something, and then you continue to practice again in an element. So the bit, which is small bit of it, the B will just go out, and it's left with IT, which is it, which is literally insignificant. So when you have IT, you'll be able to move with it and correct yourself on the way, because IT is insignificant, because we can't say any human person will rule out a negative attitude totally. You can live with the IT for as long as you can, but IT is the level of habit that you can overcome every minute, every second, and every hour, because of the positive nature in the new habit that you've welcomed into your life. So if you, with that scenario, if you feel you got some habit that is not helping you to become very productive, and to become very sound, and to become very much more into your goal, you need to start thinking about some kind of habit to get in negative. These are flowers, yes, and there's something that keeps them going, right? If you see the flowers, they're greeny and they're very flourish and all of it. So there is a practice that I do to water them and to shape them and to plumb them, clean them and get the unwanted material. That's an habitual thing, so it flourishes. So, but the IT in it is that we can never rule out that, okay, pesticides won't come to the prey on the flowers. So I see some pesticide particles there which shows they are insignificant, and I know what to do about it. So if you've got some kind of habit, try to get it practiced, and then try to make the element that is left is insignificant is something that you can correct every moment, every hour. So as always, as we go for a weekend, which is the LG4We, I live with you that, we all develop an habit or the other. But an habit, you can consider an habit to be negative when you realize the positive side of that habit, and when you realize that this is not helping me. But they're all individualistic. Yeah, I can't tell you smoking cigar or drinking alcohol is a bad habit, but you will know the impact of that in your life, whether it's negative or positive, whether it has economic drawback in you, or whether it takes your time, whether it causes you to misbehave. That's up to you. But I want to leave it with you, and that decision is with you right now. 3 things I'll leave with you as always on LG4We. Think about the habit that you have now, and ask yourself, monetize that habit. How much is it taking away from you? How much is it bringing into you? And then you can realize whether you need to maintain it, and or you need to bring it down and replace it with something positive. So as you go, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to leave your comments, and don't forget to click that notification button there for more on this. I am Diamond as always, LG4We, and let's go for a weekend. Tell me about your weekend on the comment, and I'll tell you how I'll spend mine. Yeah, let's get this done.